Just trying to get enough bees.
That's enough. We don't know where they're all from, but...
Okay, so this one's failing already because no drawn comb.
Wow. Man.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and cut to the chase on this guy. Okay, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I only have one frame there that even has drawn comb on it. See, this frame is just not good. So what I'll take like this frame isn't ideal to have in the hive. So, so I'll just lay this over here and it will go back somewhere.
So
actually, no, I don't want to do that just yet. Because this will cause robbing. It would be better to take this frame and put it over there. Because once they rob it and they say, okay, we're done here, well then I got a nuke right there, and they'll say, okay, that's where it went.
Well, hopefully,
you know, so you gotta be careful
that's
of that.
why, like we start keeping 2 to 1.
Or I'll put it over there and put in the thing and let
to get them to kind of
whatever
cap it
happening
and
happen.
get at least dehydrate a lot of the moisture out of it. So pollen, look at all the different colors. That's pretty.
Here they are, right here.
It's got a hive with a top box full, but it's not one of the
Right.
So lots of
yep.
honey,
So yeah, just leave it for the
medium.
This is pretty nice though. So this has a lot of
gentle.
doors. And actually, she's laying up here too.
What are these? We did the
So-
over there.
Right? And I don't know
So
if you're
there's-
seeing eggs. So
A little bit of honey.
eggs in here. So she's been up here, she's laying. She's
See,
got
what this time of year they will not draw
Um,
any more comb. So just get rid of that empty space. No matter what you do this time of year, I mean, you might get some. I don't want to say 100% you won't, but as soon as the temperatures start to drop, we are into the, you know, they're just not going to draw comb because they need temperatures to draw comb. Good warm temperatures.
And by empty space, you
As
just
I look down,
And drawn,
it looks
you know,
undrawn.
yeah. So we got some nice brood. See, we got a lot of honey in this hive.
Is that a newbie?
Yeah, they're kind of grayish looking. And
like
I'm,
we could,
That's a good pattern.
yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
would you get rid of this one, Jeff? Like,
The frame? Yeah. And then, yeah. So that's going to be one that we set aside and hopefully replace it with something better.
but she looks really good.
Okay. So now what I do is start.
That top box is super heavy.
So I'd start either go over.
This looks like the most empty. Let me show you.
So yeah, look at that. That's a nice brood pattern. So she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. She just needs. I'm not seeing much pollen.
31, I think, is the last.
That's the only thing right now that I'm seeing that's kind of lacking of my numbers. Plus, we need a lot more honey.
Put them in the number 2 spot.
we can do that.
By supplementing with the pollen patty?
And in this light, sometimes all I'm looking for is if you were to look into kind of these areas, if you have a flashlight, just looking for like a shiny bottom. That's a very small pool of royal jelly.
Has more hair. Yeah, that's a baby bee.
Capped brood.
Yeah, so the fluffier white.
Yeah, and you can see lots of
they have more hair.
young brood right in there. I can see
Yeah.
the shine of it.
So when the bottom looks shiny, what is that?
That's just a pool of royal jelly.
Okay.
Jeff, you want us to feed all of them that we've
Yeah,
done?
they're especially if they're light, and I'm seeing a lot of light hives. So
Yeah, well, we're a little light.
well, then I would say feed them.
Okay.
There's so far I've only seen one hive that can get away with not being fed.
Yeah, these could be.
Oh,
There she is, right there.
All right.
She's actually got an egg hanging out of her butt.
Yeah, see this one?
Little, you can see a little bit of it.
It has some.
She's not the biggest queen in the world, but you know, she's got a good pattern.
And she's last year's, right?
Yeah, she's last year's, which does. If she was green, I'd be a little bit more concerned. If it was a green mark queen, but it's a blue. She's
That
So this one
blue
has
is
three
that
frames.
That's
that
less-
doesn't
really
stand
that
out real
long.
quickly.
No. And and I have some people that I work with that they mark all their queens one color,
Yeah.
and which is fine. And it's that school bus yellow, and man, you can just see the bees.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can see the queen. So she's got lots of pollen going across the top.
Oh, you see pollen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like this here's that's pollen, but not nearly enough. So I would say we have in this box the equation. We have 100% drawn comb here, right? And we have I think we have plenty of bees. We have plenty of brood. I'd say we're lacking in pollen. And we're lacking in honey. And then we're also lacking in additional space. Chances of this hive surviving the winter with just one box is
Yes.
slim. So this would be a case where I would probably take both of those boxes and put it over here. Are
Okay.
you good with that?
What?
We take both of those boxes and put it on here.
Yeah. This one just had, like, if you see this, and then it has one more that's not completely drawn, right? But the top is full of honey, and she's laying in here too.
Okay. What I would do then is I would maybe pause on this one.
Okay.
Leave it as it is, and now we'll go start hunting for frames
Okay.
and make it right because you got 3 boxes here.
Right.
This
and
one
so
looks.
combine it. It looks.
This one looks good.
She's laying in that one too.
Okay, so
and it looks
this-
really nice, like the.
Perfect. So let's try to find.
And see, like she even has this with this empty space.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that. We could use 4 frames.
Well,
Well,
I don't know.
I would
leave
maybe
this one.
that's not terrible. Okay,
I
so
would leave that one.
but I would try to on those. I would say first off, I would go over there in the used equipment pile and just try to find frames. I mean,
That are drawn out.
That are drawn out. That's my first place to look is over there for drawn frames, and then I would then start hunting around for the next likely candidate. Maybe go to that hive over there. That's something Keith messed with. I can't remember what's in it, but that hive there might be a good candidate to
That one?
condense down. Yeah.
Okay. So let's.
So you can just leave it like that. We're
cover it.
cool. I mean,
We'll
the
cover it.
temperatures are nice.
Yeah.
We can leave it open, and we try to work to finish this hive,
Yes.
and
We'll
then
do that.
because like I'm looking at this one thinking, what am I going to do? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's pop that. I may take half the hive, and you take the other half. That's the beauty part about having, and it gets very rather confusing after a while. We got lots of bees.
So that's it.
And what gets really bad is when you have all your hives are really good and you're like, uh-oh, now what do I do?
Look at all that propolis. It's like
Yeah.
jam. Oh, so this is
These
10.
are all carnelians,
This is
right?
10 frames, so we can't like move
Yeah.
the boxes, but we can move the
We,
frames.
yeah, but we can move frames around. But I want to see what he did on the bottom. I can't remember what
Oh, do you want me to pull
this.
the bottom off?
Is that a spacer?
Yeah, it's a Keith made this spacer, and I can't remember why he did it. It's one of the experiments.
Ooh,
Is it
beaky.
coming off?
Oh yeah, the frames are bigger. That's what it is.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, now don't go down. Set it on its edge. Just on its edge. On its edge.
Jeff, can we borrow a pen?
What's going on here?
So this is the experiment.
This is the experiment. So,
Interesting.
Draw the frames out? Is that what he was trying to do?
to
Like maybe these ones were not complete?
yeah,
I don't. So these look like they're deep.
but they're nicely drawn out. There's a lot of bees in here.
This is plenty heavy, so they've got a lot of.
Yeah, was that pretty heavy?
Yeah.
Looks like it's full of honey.
But it.
And these frames.
But
are
this was
drawn
coming
full of
up.
honey.
Yeah. do we do? What did you do, Keith?
So he's got the mediums.
Yeah, so he's got
Here.
every other medium.
I wonder why he did that.
He just did that for fun?
Yeah, I forgot. You know, there was some reason, and he dreamt this up one day, and he goes, "Can I do it?" I said, "I don't care what you do." But I'm seeing a issue here of just getting. I'm trying to see it.
Some bees blew more than others.
I mean, there's.
One ball, yeah.
I guess that hive looks like.
Picture and see. I don't keep it.
Good. He's ready for a while.
That's really complicated.
But I'm seeing just wall-to-wall brood down here. I'm
So
almost.
just leave it.
Well, I'm almost tempted. I'm afraid of what could happen if we leave it too long.
Oh,
I'm almost tempted to say,
take this completely apart.
let's take it all apart and put it into a deep and a medium. You know what I mean? Put the
Okay.
deeps in a deep and the medium in a medium,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and get it
1,
right.
2, 3, 4, 5.
So that would be because this looks
So
this
there's
hive
10.
looks
He's got a medium. So
this hive looks good, and you can definitely overwinter in a deep and a medium, especially 10 frame. Deep and a medium is good. So this hive, since it's looking so doggone good, I say we
Get a deeper box.
get a deep box and we move it over. So if you want, why don't you go find them? I'll do this one,
Okay.
and then you can go find more.
More frames.
Go find more frames.
More frames.
Until John, you're looking for frames,
Okay.
and we'll figure it out.
Why was that configured like that anyway, in the first place?
That's what I can't remember. Keith did this one, and play around. Let's make mistakes here. So I hardly ever say no. You know, why would I? So, okay. So
is it
let's.
the right size?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the right size. So we need to figure out how to get. Actually, you know what? I wonder. Anybody got smoke? Let's give it a good. There we go. You just want to hold that a second.
This is
Let me grab that deep box.
the most active one we've seen yet.
And I'm going to try to reconfigure this in such a way that it goes back in logical sense. So I want my honey on the outside, brood towards the inside, if I can get it. I'm not going to worry about a queen. Watch seeing the queen because we know she's here. Just throw that on the other that side because there's only half drawn.
This side doesn't have anything ever so good brood.
Now, let's see if we can't get those out of. No, we got to. No, we got to take these other one, all the other, every other one out.
I know. I was going to hold it here while you pry
Oh,
them out.
okay. This is why I want to get rid of this. Instead of,
Yeah.
it's good. You know, it's like, well, it was a good idea, but now we're getting the ramifications of a good idea.
If he did that so they would draw it out.
Here's the honey frame.
Yeah.
Now, how come they all just fell out like that?
Oh, because I just had to. I'm going to hand you this frame if you want to just put it into that box. Oh, thank you.
James?
Solid honey.
Everybody got smoke? We'll keep on smoking a little bit. Okay.
This bathroom's gonna be
You're gonna
real
have to
quick when
squeeze
it's
them
busy.
together.
Where does it need to go? Just anywhere, probably? Let's just put it on the outside. We know that's all honey.
Yeah, so
So this one's mostly honey then.
Yeah, that's almost all honey, yeah. So,
And then that one, I assume eggs.
eggs, larvae, everything else, yeah.
Is that a good ratio?
I'd say this one looks really good. We'll go ahead and give it a pound patty. Actually,
Okay.
and then we put this back on. Now this guy I would say is pretty done. But I would also, if we could, for added measure, I'd put another medium on it. So if I end up with an extra medium, I'd put it on there. But this hive could easily overwinter just as it is. I think we got the ratio right.
So
You know, 100% drawn comb. It definitely has 50% honey.
yeah.
would it be for added population or space?
Just extra resources would be the reason why I'd give it a little extra.
Uh-huh.
But one of the areas that I'm still trying to understand is I have really big hives I have like each hive has at least two. These are mediums, right?
That's deep.
Okay, I have each hive has 2 deeps and then 2 to 3 mediums on them. But then it's like, do I pull stuff out or can I overwinter a hive that's super stacked like that?
You can overhive a winter that's stacked like that, but the idea is that if they're not in it, I mean, if you got a hive that's stacked and it's got drawn comb that's not used,
Yeah.
get rid of it. Take it
Okay.
off.
Yeah.
Take it off. Put it in the shed.
So they're not gonna swarm.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're not
Okay.
going to swarm anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
We're done with
Yeah,
that.
that passed this
Okay,
morning.
amazing. And then, if all the comb is being used, like if it has brood or honey or pollen in it, just let it be.
Yeah, just let it be.
Okay, cool.
Or you know, go. So what we're doing is we're going through and getting the hives set. If it's done, like it's ready for winter, basically, bricks laying flat,
Yep.
green up,
White forward.
and if it needs help, we're putting it up.
Okay.
So we're kind of going through. So Deborah's got a couple hives open. I've got a hive open, and we're looking for resources. So we came to this one thinking we're going to get resources, and it turns out it's awesome.
So are we trying to reduce?
Yes, if we can, we're going to.
Okay, which hive? Okay, do we know?
Okay.
Do we have enough open to figure out?
Did
Whip.
you wanna, so this one, the deeps are drawn, but she's not laying in the bottom at all. So there's a little bit of resources here.
So this is the only box.
No, then there's the medium on top. I remember seeing the queen last week. This is the one where we couldn't catch her.
She's on March.
Yeah, she's in there.
And what's that top box? How many bees are in it?
Not many.
There's a bee right there.
One.
They're all drawn.
So we got.
The top box
Jeff,
is all
this
drawn.
is mostly bees.
Okay. So we've got. So
But she's not laying in this bottom box
Yeah.
at all.
So to get Gordon and Dave when Gordon gets back. Okay.
So we just need 3 more drawn frames for this.
There's a few of these, Jeff, that have the
They look-
problems with the wings too.
They look funny, the drones.
Show me.
And I saw several. It's not just the one,
Yeah.
several.
Jeff, go ahead.
Okay. So we got deformed wing virus in this one. Oh shit. So where we are right now, just to bring, there was a drone.
And
Right
we
here.
saw like 3 drones
Right here.
with it.
Is there a
current
mic count on this side?
And there were several though.
Rechecking when
It
we.
said 3 mites not too long ago. But
Right, 3 mites, 7,
Is that the
7,
queen?
17.
No, these are the drones.
It should be this year.
So, but that's almost a month ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
I should do a mic count on it.
We could.
We need to mark that queen if we can find her again.
So let these guys catch up and whoever else just showed up. Okay.
So what's the
These three we have
normal plan for the deformed wings?
Tree for mics.
What is that, the queen or?
I think they thought this one that's clueless.
Yep.
No, I need a half cup. It's the closest thing I've got to a half.
No, what is that for?
That pretty close? That's close to a half cup.
This is a mite check?
Okay, so hang on to that. Don't let them out. Bring them over here. Okay, Dawn detergent. 1 to 2 tablespoons per gallon. So I've dumped them in there. It's going to kill the bees. And I'm going to swirl this around for just a minute. And then I'm going to let it sit for a couple minutes. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to swirl it again for a minute and let it settle. And then we'll look and see how many mites you guys see in there.
Okay.
Here, Gordon, I'm going to stick this in your
Sleeve. Thank you. Any treasury business?
I do not today. Okay, let them sit for a minute or 2 or 3. Look down through it. But with its dawn, you can't look through suds. So you're going to want to hold this up in the air. One of you guys, come here, Amy.
Somebody read it.
Hold that up. Hold that up in the air. Look at the bottom and count the number of mites on there. I'm going to dump this. No, I'm just going to flip it over back here.
Mind if I join you?
I'm counting at about 19.
You know, when you dump these, you don't want to dump it over your hive. Exactly. Okay. So this guy is good.
I think so.
We're going to put a brick on this guy.
A few on the side too.
Oh, we got some on the side?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got about 19 is what I guess.
19.
Yeah.
Okay, so what percent is that?
300 bees, 19. Yeah?
Yeah. What percentage do you have?
It's enough to treat.
Yeah, you don't even have 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm going to say 21 or 22.
Okay.
Who hasn't looked? You guys, have you counted? Look. Hold that up, and with the dawn, you have to do it from the bottom.
Which hive was that out?
Well, it came out of that hive, and we combined with this hive, so this hive has to
Can you take that?
get in there.
You said 22?
Okay. So you're going to divide that 22 by 300. Okay? That's going to give you a percent. Let me get out here. I'll just show you how to do it if you've got a phone. 22 divided by 300 equals 0.073, which you multiply by 100 to get the percent. So it's 7.3%. You want to start treating at about 2 to 3%. 2 should be okay. Anything at 3, you need to treat. So we're at 7.3%. Okay, so that's really high. And we would normally be treating those today, but it's going to get super hot, and most of the treatments are hard on the bees at those temperatures. Okay. So questions about mite counts? Just remember, divide the number of mites you get by 300 and multiply then back by 100 to get your percent. Okay. So it's that key number. When you're approaching 3, you really should be treating.
Okay.
3%, which is going to be 6 bees or 6 mites. So you start getting 5 or 6 mites in your count. If you just think of it that way, start treating at 5 or 6 mites. Okay?
Perfect.
Really light. There's nothing there. I mean, if you feel that, seriously, I want you guys, I want everybody who hasn't done it, feel this hive. Just grab the handle, just give it a little.
Is this a light one?
Yeah. Now go to that one and do the same thing.
Yeah, I did that already.
And this, I mean, you could come into this apiary, go to there, and go lift it, and go. I know exactly what I need to do. Don't even crack it open. You go to a hive like that, you know. So, even though I look down in here,
I've been moving my very, very elderly 96-year-old mom, and
you know,
so
and
I haven't had any free time. So
I'm seeing some
leaving
honey.
tomorrow for a week. So then, when I get back, then I will.
You know,
all this.
it's got, you know, heavy frames, but it's not nearly heavy enough. I'm not gonna go crazy about this frame. You know, if I could replace it, great. If I can't, I'm gonna let it go. But I would turn it onto the inside because they're not gonna draw it out, and I want to bring that food as close to the cluster as I can. I don't want that food to go around with that.
This
But
is
I am
just,
seeing.
it's a drawn but empty frame in the sense that there's no nectar, no. All these bees are hungry. They have not been being fed. This is a partially.
That's a good frame. But what's that one?
And they're empty.
Empty on this side.
Yeah, so empty, empty. So we need at least 2 frames here.
Looks good on this side.
This one might be empty.
So what causes them to just skip? This one was decent, and then
Well,
two just
it's
whatever decision they make.
It probably was the beekeeper. So, you know, a lot of time what we teach is that you always want to manipulate your frames to make them draw out the wax most effectively. So, probably at some point in time, somebody manipulated that frame to the inside to entice them to draw it out.
Right.
Well, you did that, and everything was good when you did it, but then all of a sudden the nectar flow stops. And they, and you know, the pollen, you know, the nectar flow stops. So they say, okay, we don't need any more room, so let's not spend any time making more room when we don't need it. They're not going to draw out this box just because you put it on. They draw it because they need it. So, for whatever reason, this
They were
hive,
hoping it needed it. It just happened to be a timing issue.
timing issue. So it was probably the beekeeper. You know, these are Mark 21 for this year. So these frames were probably put in, you know, just a hive that's behind the game. You know, this hive probably should have been fed more to keep that nectar flow going, and then it would have been okay. So I always tell people, you're overwintering all season long. You're working on overwintering all season long, because now to say, oh crap, I need more drawn comb, it's too late. You should have done that in May, June. You should have been working on your drawn comb. And then when you do have drawn comb, say you have a dead out for whatever reason, or you have a hive that just goes up and up and up, you just keep on going, because now you've got that box, you got a spare, and then when you do have spares, you protect it. You know, so that now, I go grab 2 more frames.
And you've got it in your bank.
Like at my house, I've got, I have 2 deep boxes full of empty frames. You know, so I catch swarms, and I use swarms to make drawn comb. Nobody draws comb like a swarm does. If you get a swarm, that's golden. You put that in a box, you feed them heavy, they will draw out comb like nobody's business, because they are engineered to draw comb.
Okay, so I'm going to do this.
So what I'm going to do is, I know I need 2 more frames there.
I'm going to look at this.
This
one
one's
right here.
good. I'm just going to set this here.
This looks like a new one, so that may be in the wrong.
I'm going to set this over here. I like to set my boxes like that when I'm doing these aggressive manipulations, so that I can work with that box and this box.
We've been trying to record them,
And
but I don't know if they're
I'm seeing a
coming
great
through.
population
Mike
of bees. I
Stallman,
see
who's a webmaster.
brood.
Mike isn't here today. He was worried about the air quality.
Are you filming or just pictures?
So this frame is, pretty much empty.
Down into the 20s today. We had actually some of the best in the country this morning.
Yesterday was nasty.
In the middle of the night, I got up and I asked.
So what I'm doing is I'm just doing a quick check, and I'm just going to kind of look, and I'm thinking in my head, of the ratio, I'm looking for 25, 50% honey. So I got a lot of good honey in this hive. But I got another red flag right here. Okay, so it's like half drawn. So
Think about subbing it or just.
well, I'll put it over here for now. And this is where I said earlier, this is where what I like to do, if it's smaller, if you only have a few hives, is if you do this really quick and you take notes, and then you can go inside where you don't have the bees, and you have an inventory now of every single frame in your apiary, and you can sit there at your kitchen table and go, okay, I've got this and this. Where can I rob and where can I, and I need to make some follower boards. So I could take this one out and I could put a follower board in it, or what we could do here to make these numbers work, I can put this into an 8-frame. If I put this into an 8-frame box, boom, I'm at my ratio. Everything is condensed and perfect. Okay, but not everybody's got this.
Yeah.
And that might be something that we do. I'm seeing eggs. I could care less now that if I see the queen. Not seeing many eggs, but I am seeing a couple eggs. And
It's like really shallow.
Well,
not many
bees,
eggs.
unless they have nectar.
But this time of year on eggs, well, you
Yeah, I
gotta,
was just going to ask you about what should the queen be doing? Oh, she's busy there.
yeah, she's busy there.
Or was busy.
So you gotta think. Okay, we got lots of young brood over here.
Okay.
So you gotta think about your environment, what's going on. We're in a dearth, so she's going to slow down. We're in the fall, she's going to slow down, and we've got excessive heat, she's going to slow down. So don't panic if you don't see many eggs.
Probably won't put.
Okay? Now, if this was spring, she's supposed to be developing, we've got a nectar flow going on, things are supposed to be expanding, you don't see eggs, then you worry. So
don't get too concerned.
Yep. You want to grab the smoke again?
Hey, Jeff?
Yep.
Do we have any Western drawn frames? I need 2 if we have them.
2 medium drawn frames?
2 medium.
Well,
James?
we've got this hive here that the queen is caged, and we could start.
You got some, honey?
If we want to steal from, we can start tearing that hive down.
I just need 2 drawn frames, and this hive is great.
So for your hives, if you have a whole bunch that you're trying to release,
Yeah.
So having a frame like this with a that comb hanging down, I'm not going to do anything about it. It's just fine.
1 second. Did you need a little smoke here?
We're good. We're good.
You're good?
And when you take those frames out, you're popping them in the freezer? No. Just kind of, even though they're drawn comb.
Yeah, so she's doing really well, and you can kind of see here, see the glistening of the bottom in there. Even if you can't see eggs, you can see the glistening. That is the royal jelly. It's kind of glistening in there. So,
But for the moths, but what I do is I take my frames and I'll put a box on the ground, down low that's empty, and I'll put a couple of strips of.
So what I'm not seeing in here so far is much pollen. Well, here we go. Now we got some pollen. Got a nice array of pollen there.
Order in a box and I build them up, and then I have a little fan going in the shed.
A little bit of pollen.
For me, it just moves the air. I haven't had.
So real quick,
I haven't had any.
what we're seeing here is we have most of the drawn comb in play. We have. Look at that. That's a lot of pollen. That's almost all pollen and a little honey in the corners.
I love it.
And empty. So this hive needs probably could use more pollen. Definitely could use more honey. We've got we've got plenty of bees in my opinion. We got plenty of bees. We start feeding it, it'll start making more bees probably.
Not worried we didn't see the queen.
Huh?
You're not worried we didn't see the queen?
Not at all. I saw eggs and I saw young larvae.
Yep.
So, that's all.
Some supplemental feeding probably is going to.
Supplemental feeding will probably turn her on. And also, like I said, we're in this heat that's going to cool off. you'll have a few more flowers will start blooming again. But you know, things will start getting a little bit better for this hive. But I would really like to.
Jeff, are we going to tear that hive down over there?
You can if you want.
Okay.
So I need to really find myself.
Let's go over here. Tell me your name again.
Solid.
Amy.
I need three. Three deep frames if we can find them.
No, I won't do that.
So does she on that one. 3D.
Deborah, you need frames too?
So this is laying queen at this time. Now they're pissed off. So I don't really know what you want to do with this. We took 3 frames. So this could be a resource, but we got to find
So there's one.
if it's a virgin. If she should be laying by now.
I mean, optimally I'm looking for a deep frame, but what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm noticing that the bees are starting to get all riled up.
They're pissed.
And what they're doing is they're robbing.
Yeah.
Hey, Gordon, here.
I got 2. Oh my gosh. You want me to use that?
Yeah, scrape that off and use that. Because we're getting robbing going on here. You can hear the bees are going crazy. Because we had frames hanging out there. So we're just gonna kind of. Deborah, do you need any?
Okay, I think this is a resource hive because I don't see any sign of a laying queen.
Oh, you don't need the bees. Okay. Because you do want to kind of work. Oh, that's a little heavy. You want to kind of work a little bit smart.
Well, see, the problem we have having right now
And
here.
what we can do now,
Well,
Oh, until we find.
the problem we're having
the
is
3 more, now they're right on top. And what we need in this hive
not only have
is
that, but
Pollen.
we need to put a pollen patty on it.
everybody's
But
robbing.
we also need honey, so let's put it at the top. So if we can find.
Shut